the Areopagus in AD 51, more or less. So it says, when Paul was waiting for them, that's the other disciples, in Athens, his spirit was greatly upset because he saw the city was full of idols. So he is addressing the Jews and the God-fearing Gentiles in the synagogue and in the marketplace every day. So let's write down that way. And those who happened to be there. Also, some of the Epicurean and Stoic philosophers were conversing with him, and some were asking, what does this foolish babbler want to say? Others said, he seems to be a proclaimer of foreign gods. They said this because he was proclaiming the good news about Jesus and the resurrection. So they took Paul, the philosophers, the Stoics and the Epicureans, they took Paul and brought him up to the Areopagus, where we are right now, saying, may we know what this new teaching is that you are proclaiming? For you are bringing some surprising things to our ears, so we want to know what they mean. All the Athenians and the foreigners who lived there used to spend their time in nothing else than telling or listening to something new. So Paul stood before the Areopagus and said, men of Athens, I see that you are very religious in all respects. For as I went around and observed closely your objects of worship, I even found an altar with this inscription, to an unknown God. Therefore, what you worship without knowing it, this I proclaim to you. The God who made the world and everything in it, who is Lord of heaven and earth, does not live in temples made by human hands, nor is he served by human hands as if he needed anything, because he himself gives life and breath and everything to everyone. From one man he made every nation of the human race to inhabit the entire earth, determining their set times and the fixed limits of the places where they would live. He did this so that they would search for God and perhaps grope around for him and find him, though he is not far from each of us. For in him we live and move and have our being, as even some of your own poets have said, for we too are his offspring. So since we are God's offspring, we should not think that deity is like gold or silver or stone, an image made by human skill and imagination. Therefore, although God has overlooked such times of ignorance, he now commands all people everywhere to repent, because he has set a day on which he is going to judge the world, going to judge the world in righteousness by a man whom he has designated, having provided proof to everyone by raising him from the dead. Now when they heard about the resurrection from the dead, some of them began to scoff, but others said, we will hear you again about this. So Paul left the Areopagus, but some people joined him and believed. Among them were Dionysius, who was a member of the Areopagus, a woman named Damaris, and others with them. And that's the rest of Acts 17. We'll talk about it tonight.